Most ACH fraud doesn't start with a bad actor inside your company. It starts online, with a web debit that looked valid at the time but couldn't be defended later. Today, we're breaking down ACH web debits, what banks expect from originators, and how to build authorization proof that actually holds up. By the end of this video, you'll understand what makes web debits different, what proof is required for online authorization, how fraud controls reduce unauthorized returns, and how to build a defensible web debit workflow that banks trust. A web debit is a consumer ACH debit authorized through the internet or mobile device. That could be an online bill payment, subscription, or one-time payment. Because the authorization is remote, the risk is higher, and so are the documentation expectations. With web debits, you don't see the customer. You rely on digital signals instead of physical presence. That means stolen credentials, synthetic identities, and friendly fraud are bigger risks. Banks know this, and they monitor web activity closely. Authorization is not just permission. It's permission plus evidence. For web debits, that evidence must show how the customer authenticated, what they agreed to, and when the consent occurred. If you can't show that digitally, you can't defend the debit. Every web authorization should generate proof across three areas: authentication, encryption, and audit trails. These aren't nice to have. They're what banks rely on when reviewing unauthorized return claims. Authentication confirms the person authorizing the debit is who they claim to be. Strong passwords, device recognition, and multi-factor authentication all reduce risk. The higher the transaction risk, the stronger your authentication should be. Encryption protects sensitive data during transmission and storage. Routing numbers, account numbers, and credentials must be secured in transit and at rest. If data isn't encrypted, even valid authorization can become a compliance issue. Audit trails are your story. They show timestamps, user actions, session data, and confirmation events. When a bank reviews a web debit, they want to follow the authorization step by step without gaps. The first web debit is the riskiest. That's when fraud and account errors surface. Many banks expect additional controls before the first debit posts, especially for higher risk transactions. Validation confirms routing and account ownership. Common methods include instant verification, micro-entries, database checks, and risk-based step-up. Strong validation reduces unauthorized returns and protects your program. Most web failures come from weak authentication, missing audit trails, or mismatched SEC codes. Another common issue is incomplete disclosures. The customer didn't fully understand what they agreed to. Banks monitor unauthorized return rates, repeat failures, validation practices, and proof quality. If patterns look risky, banks may impose limits or require remediation. Clean documentation protects your origination privileges. Every web debit should follow the same checklist: authenticate the user, capture consent, encrypt data, log actions, validate accounts, and store proof securely. Consistency is how you scale safely. Scenario: a consumer claims a web debit was unauthorized. You have the payment record, but no login history or consent timestamp. Pause and think, what's missing? The issue isn't the transaction, it's the missing audit trail. Without proof of authentication and consent, the debit is indefensible. That's why evidence matters more than intent. Prevent repeat issues by tightening authentication, validating accounts earlier, monitoring return trends, and updating your authorization process when risk changes. Your web starter kit should include authorization language templates, authentication standards, validation rules, audit log requirements, and a proof retrieval SLA. This is how mature programs operate. Web debits are powerful and risky. Authorization must be digital, defensible, and retrievable. Strong controls reduce fraud, protect relationships with your bank, and keep your ACH program healthy. Next up, we'll cover ACH returns and notices of change, how to triage them, fix issues fast, and prevent repeat failures. Subscribe so you don't miss it. This content is for educational purposes only and is not financial, legal, or compliance advice. Consult your financial institution or a qualified professional.